hey guys, and welcome back, or welcome to my ASMR channel. In tonight's video, it is going to be a long one, because we are going to do some scary stories from Reddit. So sit back, grab a snack, get under your duvet, and let's relax as much as you can. So I'm going to keep looking over this way because that is where the stories that I've collected are. They're on my laptop. So I'm just going to dim this a little bit actually. Okay, so story number 1. I moved back into my mother's house 2 months ago. It wasn't part of the plan. The plan was to rent somewhere small and get my bearings again after she died, and maybe try to rebuild the pieces of my life that fell apart with her. But when I went to collect her things, I couldn't leave. There was something about that house, something that felt unfinished business. It's the same old 2-story I grew up in, white siding, creaky porch, the faint smell of dust and lavender. My mother loved that smell. She said it calmed the house down. Even as a kid though, I never felt calm here. I used to tell her the walls made noises when I was alone. Little groans, sighs, a kind of hum when I cried. She'd laugh and say, "Old houses settle, Clara. They creak because they're alive in their own way." I thought she meant it metaphorically. I don't anymore. The first few nights back were normal enough. Lonely, yes. Too quiet. I couldn't sleep in my old bedroom. It still had those faint outlines on the wall from where I taped up posters, like ghosts of teenage years I'd rather forget. So I took my mother's room instead. Her perfume lingered on the curtains, and the bed still dipped on her side, as if she'd only just gotten up. I started cleaning during the day, sorting through her things, trying to make the place feel like mine. That's when it started. Small things I told myself were coincidence. One afternoon I caught myself thinking this dresser would look better by the window. The next morning, it was. I laughed it off, assuming I'd moved it and forgotten. But then it happened again. I was reaching for the hallway light switch, but the switch wasn't there. Instead, it was on the other wall, right where my hand had hesitated a moment before. My stomach dropped, like missing a step on the stairs. I told myself I was misremembering, that grief made people fuzzy. That night I walked through the house taking pictures of the layout of where everything was, so I could prove to myself it wasn't moving. The next day the photos didn't match. It wasn't dramatic, not at first. Doors an inch off, stair count 1 higher, the kitchen window slightly taller. I thought maybe I was going insane. I even scheduled an appointment with a therapist, but then the house started helping me. When I'd think about coffee, I'd find the mug already waiting on the counter. When I'd feel cold, the heat would hum to life without me touching the thermostat. One night, I couldn't find my phone. I whispered, "Where did I leave it?" And the bedroom light flickered like a nod. I found it glowing on the nightstand. It felt like the house cared. It was subtle, intimate, almost maternal, like it wanted to take care of me the way that she used to. I told myself that was comforting, but comfort doesn't last here. The first time I got angry, I felt it breathe. I was trying to open a jam drawer, my mother's old jewellery box, the one with the music that never worked, and it wouldn't budge. I yanked harder, muttering house slammed at once. The windows rattled. The air pressure changed, like before a storm, and then it was still. I stood there shaking, trying to laugh it off. Old houses, I whispered. But I could feel something watching me, not from a corner or doorway, but from the walls themselves. After that, I started testing it. When I felt sad, the lights dimmed. When I felt panicked, the hallway stretched. I swear to you, it elongated, the end of it sliding further away as I ran. When I calmed down, it shrank again. I told myself it was all part of the trauma, that it was grief and stress, all the buzzwords therapists love to use. But then I started noticing something worse. The house wasn't reacting to me anymore. It was anticipating. I'd reach for the faucet. It would turn before my fingers touched it. I'd think about checking the mail and hear the front door unlatch on its own. I'd dream about my mother and wake up to find her perfume thick in the air, as if she'd been standing right over me. The final straw was the basement. I've always hated that basement. As a kid, I refused to go down there. My mother kept the door locked most of the time anyway. Said it was for storage, though I never remember her storing anything. Last week I was sitting in the living room when I heard something moving beneath the floorboards, slow and deliberate, like someone dragging furniture. I froze. Then I heard a whisper, "Come see what I've made for you." It was my mother's voice. I wanted to run, but the hallway had already shifted. The front door was gone. Only one door remained open. The basement. I don't remember walking down the stairs. I just remember the smell. Wet earth, lavender, and something metallic underneath. The basement was larger than it should have been. The floor sloped downward, the walls bending in impossible curves. The wallpaper from upstairs bled into concrete, as though the house was growing downward. At the centre was a new door, one I'd never seen. It was painted white, but wet, like the paint hadn't dried. I touched it, and the door breathed. The wood expanded against my palm, warm and pulsing. I stepped back, trembling. The whisper came again, closer this time. "You've been thinking so loudly, Clara. We only wanted to help." I screamed and ran back up the stairs, but they wouldn't end. The steps kept repeating, looping like an optical illusion. The house was folding in on itself, reconfiguring. Every thought I had became a distraction. Don't close in, the ceiling lowered. Don't lock me in, the door vanished. Stop, stop, stop. The walls pulsed harder, almost shuddering. I blacked out. When I woke up, I was in bed. Morning light filtered through the curtains. Everything normal again. The furniture in its place. For a while, I convinced myself it had all been a nightmare, until I saw the note on my dresser, my mother's handwriting. "Don't leave again. The house gets lonely." The note was written on wallpaper that matched the basement. "I've tried leaving. I've tried. Every time I pack my bag, something goes wrong. The tires deflate, the front door locks itself, my phone refuses to dial anyone but Mum, and she answers. Sometimes I hear her humming through the vents at night, the same lullaby that she sang when I was small. Sometimes I smell that lavender perfume and the walls ripple softly, as if pleased. I think the house is keeping me safe. No, I think it's keeping me. Because last night I dreamt of that white door again. I could hear breathing on the other side, slow, steady, in sync with mine. When I woke up, there was a new door in the hallway. This one red, reason, because I looked up property records. This house has stood here since 1913. It's been sold 16 times, every owner listed as deceased on property. But there's one detail that makes my skin crawl. Each record lists a different floor plan, and the most recent one, the one dated this year, has a new room added, a bedroom with my name on it. Story number 2. These stories are a little bit shorter, but I hope you enjoyed that first one. Gasping for air, I crawl out of the mud into the tall grass like a stalking snake. Flipping over onto my back, I feel the pulsing at the top of my skull, as if dirty water streaks across my face. Foggy, I retracted my steps, was running in the forest, hit a low branch and went down in the mud. But why was I running? Laying there, the rain started to fall into the quiet, still woods, and the pitter-patter on everything sang out. Screams and night-piercing beams came just as fast as the rain before it clicked. Run! As the screams came closer, got up on trembling legs and forced them to move as branches and underbrush swiped my arms and face. It's not human, I told myself. Roots trip my clumsy feet as the mud softens the blow. Need to hide, need to hide, need to hide. Hands pull my body across the forest floor, searching for anything to slip into, anything. Felt a dip within the ground and took it. As I dug like a hound, finding a foxhole, screams closed in, distant and close. Singular but multiple sounds within, all drilling into my ears. While the beams scanned the ground, I covered my ears and hunkered down into my makeshift spot, about 2/3 covered. Several beams passed overhead as the pooling water surrounding me began to shake. Shutting my eyes tightly as the screams became deafening, I plug my ears, but it still comes. Voices start to surround as hands reach and grab me from all around. My face is shoved so hard into the earth. Water and what lies below fill my mouth, while my arms are shoved in every direction. After what seemed like 10 minutes of my water torture, the creature finally pulled me up from the muck. Eyes adjusting from the beam it emitted, it turned into several, as one became many human faces. I go to reach out to warn them, but can move my arms from behind my back. Well, Mr. Kramer, the older man said, his light shining right in my face, barely make out a doctor's coat. I do believe this is strike 3 for you, and you are lucky we found you. His light lowering to my legs as he lights a cigarette, blowing the heavy smoke in my face. The bad news, Mr. Kramer, is I'm going to have to clip your wings so you'll stop flying away. He chuckled, turning to walk away, while his hands guide me to my fate. And this is the third and the final story. Okay, so I don't know if this was made up or not by my older sibling, but I distinctly remember when I was younger they told us a story. And it was about this girl in the woods finding a shack, and inside the shack it smells very foul, and it's a very strong stench of something decaying. And the smell only gets stronger as she approaches the closet in the shack, and she opens it and finds her own corpse, or her mum's corpse, and there was a hole in like the abdomen. And I tried to, talk to my older sibling about this, and they don't remember ever telling me, or my younger sibling, this story. They don't even remember its existence. So it is very likely this could be made up, or they just don't remember the story at all. But me and my younger sibling vivid memory of this. I've tried looking for it and I can't find it. The closest one I found is like not even close to it. It's just a hunter in the woods going to his shack. But I have a vivid memory of this girl. She was very paranoid going into the shack, and I don't know why her mum would be in there, and I don't know why it would be her in there. But there is a corpse of either her or her mum with a hole in the body, and it really freaked me out when I was younger. And I really want to find this. If any of you guys can help me, that would be great. If you can't, it's okay, and it's probably made up. But anyways, have a good day or night. Sincerely, Sal. Wow, okay guys, so those were 3 stories from Reddit. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and let me know if you would like any more Reddit stories, or if you would like any sort of new videos to contain anything that I can possibly provide or help with. But for now, everybody, it's been an absolute pleasure as always,